Ready to get started. Paula, are you ready? Okay. Having another meeting over here. I want to call the meeting to order. This is our the April meeting of the Design Review Board, and we appreciate your participating in this process with us tonight. And we meet monthly, and at this time we try to assist property owners with improvements that they're making to structures that are visible from the street and in either the historic overlay district or the old Aiken overlay district. And we have two sets of guidelines we follow. Usually we take a few minutes to review the minutes, which I think our members or board members here are reviewing, and we'll entertain a motion on the minutes. After that, our secretary, Mary Catherine Lawson, will read each application, and at that time you could come forward and give your name and address. But we'll go ahead and look at our minutes and see if we can't get approval on last month's minutes. Hear a motion?
Motion, we accept the minutes as written.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, motion approves the March minutes for the work session and the regular meeting. And now I'll just ask Mary Catherine if you would read our first application in the old business section.
First and only item of old business is special tax assessment application number tax 023. Applicant Arthur Bremer requests final approval of restoration work at 607 Colleton Avenue Southeast for the purpose of the special tax assessment for historic properties. Tax map parcel 12109100001. And the action before the board is to issue final certification for the restoration work and improvements that Mr. Bremer completed. The board issued preliminary certification at their November 6th, 2018, at your November 6th, 2018 meeting, and so the purpose of your site visit today was to verify that work was completed as approved by you.
Good. Good, thank you. And we'll ask that you, applicant, would come forward and give your name and I think we know your address, but we need it for the record.
Arthur Bremer, it's 607 Colleton Southeast Avenue Southeast, Aiken, South Carolina. Okay,
good, good. And we all just visited the site, and we appreciate your opening your home to let us walk through. And I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add that maybe not included. We had some discussion about the gate, I think, that of course wouldn't be in tonight's motion because this has to do with the tax assessment.
Right. Yeah, we understand anything else like the gate, any other improvements we make, like the gate and other maybe major items that we'll bring before. I always call Mary Catherine. She seems to have a good grasp of everything, and she's been very patient and very helpful. Yeah. But we'll let you know anything we make. Good. We make the changes, especially to that gate.
Right, right. Because we did need to see what you had done. We've been pretty much aware along the way of what you were doing and what you're dealing with over there with roof and even kitchen cabinets, which is all part of this. But does anyone have any questions? We've had a chance to have some discussion previously at the residence, but if you don't, we'll let Mr. Bremer sit down and we'll see if any others want to speak then. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, do we have any other folks tonight would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this application for the special tax assessment that provides for freezing the taxes at a certain date, and then I believe is it 10 years that it gets?
Yes.
Yeah, 10 years it will then be reassessed. So, don't see anyone, so we can go ahead and have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, with respect to the application for final approval of special tax assessment application number tax 023, I move that we grant final approval for this special tax assessment application on the grounds that it meets all of our requirements.
And that we have been physically on site and can vouch for the work being done as was submitted. Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion second. Any other discussion? We've had a lot of discussion. We've been able to walk through it, so I think we've had a lot of time on it. All in favor of this application as submitted, raise your right hand. Okay, good. You're approved. Okay, we'll go to now the next item in new business.
First item of new business is application number CER H19-030. Applicant Florim Morina requests approval of window and siding replacement at 711 Richland Avenue West. It's tax map parcel number 104-20-018-004.
Okay, and then I believe we have the owner, if y'all would come to one of you to come to the lectern in the center and just state your name and your address. And add anything if you had something you wanted to add.
Florim Morina. The address is 711 Richland Avenue West, Aiken, South Carolina.
Okay. And you've owned the house about 3 years, did I understand that?
Excuse me?
Have you owned it 3 years?
No, it's 1.5 to
1.5 years.
Yeah, 1.5.
Okay, I'm glad I clarified it. Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5. I should.
So it was vacant maybe 3 years?
Vacant, yeah. I think she passed away, and I bought like yeah.
Okay. Do you all have questions for Mr. Morina?
I have one. And so I love the house. Obviously, it's very dilapidated and tickled to death that someone will invest their time and money into repairing it. So I appreciate you for doing that. I guess the reason you wanted to buy that particular house is you like sort of the historical feel and the charm of that district down in there. Is that true?
Yeah, well, we love the area, which is very close to everything.
Right.
For regarding historical, I really didn't know.
Okay. Right.
So I do. This is my business since 1994. I built homes, and I worked in Germany and United States. So I make the houses better than.
Right.
I mean, I understand the historical.
Right. So it looks to me like the window you're proposing changes the character of the house quite a bit.
Well, yes and no, because one side, as I mentioned, is the same with 3 grids. So the other side, we really couldn't save those houses. And if you're from this area, you had a chance to see that the lady who passed away, she actually put something else over the existing windows, which I guess she couldn't open or something like that, and she never tried to replace because the historical demands. So, I mean, the look actually gonna look. I mean, I think gonna look better.
I noticed your drawing in the package.
Yes.
didn't look too bad. I kind of liked your drawing, but when I looked at the windows, I couldn't really see the connection between what you have and where you're going. And it may be because you're in a state of construction right now. It's kind of hard to see that.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I do actually. I did that, and it's gonna look exactly how you see in that picture. And
Okay.
even better, because that's black and white.
So you did the drawing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Good.
did drawings too.
Yeah, I guess the two things that that I wouldn't recognize that the photograph of the new windows doesn't quite replicate is the casing. We talked about the casing around it, which your
Yeah.
drawing has a good 4 or 5 inch casing all the way around, and
Yeah, we're gonna make sure the casing should be the same size and as in the middle also on.
of what was
around,
there,
so-
yeah. And it's still there on the upper windows, including a little drip cap. If you're a contractor, you know that's an important
Yeah,
thing. That would be one thing, and I believe we can, you can assure us that you can put that back in one way or the other, especially since you're redoing siding.
yeah, definitely. And regarding one question, I think the lady asked me, I didn't put the other windows, which is on the back of the building, which they are not same size. When I actually came and fill out the application from other side, you couldn't see at all that side because it was very bushy, and somebody, I think they cut the bush now. You can see this side. This side you couldn't see at all. The first floor. Now, that's why I didn't put actually on the application.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is a good point. So the windows that you're requesting approval to change, you said how many of them? There's 17? No? Did I make that up?
How many windows?
Yes. Are they all the windows?
They are a lot, actually.
Well, are you saying that these down the side you were not?
Yes, all windows.
Okay. I misunderstood.
I think they are 14, which you could see from the street. I think in total they are like.
I think I understand now. You're saying that you didn't really include those going down the side. You didn't think we could see them.
Yeah, because I mean, when I came last week,
Yeah.
I thought, is this our house?
They're actually rehabbing that property next door, so they may have cleared some of the
I
underbrush
saw they
beside.
did.
Yeah.
But I
So,
do think changing that one window to match is a good idea.
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
that one downstairs window.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to do that.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that changes the character is, and you can see it right there on the left, upper left, well, in that case, it's just different from the photos we have in here, that's all. They're arranged on your screen. I can see now on the right, the 2/2 windows.
Yeah.
And now, let's go back to the previous slide. Yeah, there we go. Upstairs, you've got 2/2 there, which is a very distinctive era in, the history of these older homes. And then I think on the lower level, you've started replacing a couple that if we switch now, is Paula operating that?
Me? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the new window that he's got a photograph of his new window.
Okay.
Installed.
There we go. There we go. So that's quite a bit, I think that's what Vin is referring to, the character is quite a bit different. Now, the casing, you've already acknowledged, you can put the casing back.
Exactly.
Two ways to do it. You can go ahead and narrow up this mullion in the middle,
Yeah.
squeeze them back together, and then you've got the room on the side for the casing.
Yeah.
Or you can cut your siding short, and the problem with that is you may have to put some new framing in to do that. So it may behoove you to go ahead and slide the window back So you
Yeah,
don't have to
I think
change.
we will go back,
Yeah.
the original one.
Yeah, I think to get your,
Yeah.
you're gonna run into trouble cutting that siding back.
Yeah.
So that would be one thing you could do that might satisfy folks like Ben. But I think that the changing to the 6/6 is quite, it's the 2/2 are really a vintage kind of window that has to be an old window. People don't put those in new houses, but they put 6/6 in houses all the time. Now, so we'll have to decide, the board will have to decide. You've already bought these and you're a contractor, is that right?
Yes.
Are you doing other projects around here?
Well, yeah, I have some houses here, just they didn't need the work.
That you're renovating?
No, we bought.
You bought them and rent them?
In good, yeah, in good
I see as investment. Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to think what you might do with the windows you've bought that are, that don't conform right now, because we'll have a vote in a few minutes about, do y'all have other questions or other ways we might address this, the issues here on the window?
Is there any way you can change the grid pattern on the windows you already bought? Or is that pretty much the way it's going to have to be?
I mean, yeah, actually, you can, I think they can remove this and put just 2 grids, so like in the middle one. That's what you guys want? Because the other thing that I have other side with 3 grids. What are we gonna do with those? The other, where the hospital is? This one, for example. This is the original one. It's
Right.
on the front.
Well, I think that's probably a replacement window that was done after the house was constructed. I don't think that house came with that window came with the house.
So it was not the board that.
I don't think so. Now, I'm guessing, because it doesn't look like the rest of the windows, I'm thinking that was a,
Oh, no, it's not just this one. It's 6 more windows on the other side that you can see. One picture back, maybe.
They're like that.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly.
Already been
Those
replaced.
here, the corner.
By somebody
on the
else.
side, they are the same with 3 grids.
I got you. So the windows on the top back are 6/6, which are different from the grids on the
It
front.
could be an addition, yeah.
Basically, you have a half a house.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I would want it to be consistent. I agree with you.
I think what you're saying is that going down the side,
Yeah.
that those are maybe 6/6 already? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
Exactly, as a new
Going
one.
down the side?
As a new ones, yes.
But they're new, I mean,
No, they are.
they're not your new ones, they're somebody else's new ones,
Yeah.
probably. They were
Well, I don't
done.
know, just you guys.
You
tell
bought the
me.
house, they were already like that? Okay, okay. Yeah, the plot gets thicker. So, and it's not, it isn't a conforming property. We have to keep remembering that.
Right.
It's not a conforming property. But I think the
Contributing.
the casing thing really, see, you've actually submitted a sketch that has the casing the
Exactly.
way we would all
Yeah.
want it. So it gets back to these, yeah. Can I ask one more question?
I want to keep as much as it was before, except the
Yeah.
grids.
Did you say those grids on the windows you've bought, are they attached on the inside? Where's the mutton bars, are they?
Grid?
The grid.
Outside. It's outside.
It's outside?
Yes,
So it's glued to the glass?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it looks like the room.
that's the way it's supposed to be, yep. How would he change that?
This actually is a screen because it's the same as the old one. It's a 2 sliding,
Double hung.
The bottom one, they
Right.
go as of the old ones
Right.
was. Just the old ones, you couldn't open at all.
And so-
You have to break to open.
Mayor Catherine, go to the picture where at the back of the house again with the new odd size window. Right there. So I'm looking at the handout version of that one on the bottom right there. And I think I see what you're saying about, it looks like all the windows on that, which looks like a room addition, look like a 6/6 design in that room addition.
I think that's what he's saying,
Right.
that when he bought it, these going down the side,
Yeah, they are.
one story.
They are, I mean, they look like they are over 30 years.
Do they all have that sort of different horizontal?
Yeah, they are as the new ones, like with 3 grids.
Yeah.
And then she put on top of that some kind of screen with a glass.
Yeah.
Why it makes.
He has some latitude because of those windows down below, I believe, too.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway, there's a lot of different circumstances here.
Well,
Did you have a question, Lucy?
Yeah, I was wondering how many windows we're talking about here, because it,
Well, the front, which is on the roadside, are 14, and on the back, I think they are. I'm talking 14 singles, which it may.
yeah,
So on the back, they are another 6, which is on that side, and 1.
Maybe
so I guess
14 that we can
Four.
see.
we have no control over what happens in the back, and
With a bathroom and everything, I think it's like around 20.
Have you bought all those for the back too already?
Yes,
So you have
yes.
about 20
Same,
windows. You
yeah.
have about 20 windows.
Exactly.
The-
They are
Okay.
the same ones.
The
Yeah.
14 doesn't count the side that was not
No,
previously.
No, because
You thought was
I
not
thought,
visible.
You know,
You're leaving
only
those-
visible.
So it's 14 plus
14 is only the front and the east
Mm-hmm.
side.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe 18 total visible.
Yeah, but he's bought all, for all the openings, sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we, if y'all don't have questions, we probably just ought to move on, but feel free to ask if you have a
one
question.
more question. So I noticed in the application you're replacing the siding with the hardy plank siding, cement type siding. Or what about the trim
The trim gonna be replaced too.
replaced too in the
Everything gonna be-
overhang on the house and all,
Yes, up to the fascia.
up to the fascia?
Yes.
Okay,
And
Yeah.
fascia gonna stay wooden.
Gotcha.
Just new wood,
okay,
I will think.
okay.
And then you'll probably put a OSB sheathing or something underneath that hardy board, I guess.
Yes, we're gonna put insulation,
Mm-hmm.
R30, and then cover that, even so with the wind doesn't get
Right.
the water inside.
Yeah, they have some now that actually has its own moisture barrier
Exactly.
in the sheathing, and you just tape the joints. Yeah, and the house really has not had any maintenance, so he's doing a good thing there. Okay, well, thank you for coming in, and
Thank
we'll see
you
if anyone else
for
wants to
taking
speak about it. It's got some, already got some different window types. Now, do we have others tonight who might want to speak regarding the windows or the siding or the condition of the house? You're welcome to come forward. We have to go through that process to make sure everybody's heard. Don't see anyone, so would y'all like to go ahead and make a motion one way or the other, and then we can actually discuss the motion also.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve application H19030, based on the sketch that was provided. The casing will closely match the existing configuration when completed.
Right.
That's all
Yeah, I
I,
think the sketch is very helpful.
yeah.
And it pretty much maintains the casing that you have now. And I understand your problem with the mismatched windows. So the motion is made pretty much as it's submitted, and do I have a second? Did I hear a second?
Elise, you seconded, didn't you?
I did.
Elise,
A second.
okay, good. Any discussion?
Well, I have a difficulty with voting to approve the changes in the historic windows, which I think will dramatically change the character of the building, which I believe is the standard that we discussed for non-contributing. So I support everything else, but I can't vote to approve that.
The concern about the mutton arrangement kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Even though they've already got some on the, I'm not trying to
right,
argue you.
right, no, that's right.
out of
Even
your-
though they've got some, I think it,
On the, there's an
really-
addition, I think that addition is where
yeah.
it's started to go toward a 606.
And I don't mind the replacement of the 6/6, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's my
Yeah, okay,
view on it.
okay, all right. Any other comment? Okay, all in favor of the motion that essentially approves the sketch that was submitted? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we've got, looks like we've got a 4 and 3. Is that right? I got 4 and 3
Yes.
favor, okay. Yeah,
I might want to abstain. You hadn't asked me yet.
okay. Well, if you want to stay, tell me.
Or you going to call for a vote against?
You gotta call for the no's, right?
Yeah, no, all those opposed. You're just being Ben, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right, well, it's approved, and I think you understand our concern, and really the character of the house. A lot of it comes out of those 2/2, and that establishes the age of the house. And although the addition kind of establishes the age of the addition, so I don't know if there's any way you now you're approved to do it like this, but we probably should have looked at it a little sooner. But thank you for bringing it in. Okay. Okay. Our next item.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, the sketch does not show that side.
That's right.
Doesn't show one side, but you're approving those windows to
I think
be
that type,
consistent
yeah,
with
that
the rest.
6/6 is in that sketch, and so I think he's
Yeah, they're all
probably,
exactly the same in the sketch, so.
yeah,
As long as it's,
It just doesn't have that
Yeah.
one side.
right, but I would expect, I mean, they're doing all of them, so they would all need to match.
overall, the house will be better off.
It will be much better when you
Gets
finish.
finished, yeah, yeah, it needs somebody to, and we thank you for not putting vinyl siding on it.
Trying to.
Okay, Mary Catherine, we got another item, I think.
Second item of new business is application number CER H19-032. Applicant Marjon van Eyk requests approval of various alterations at 338 Dupree Place Southwest, including additions to the east side and front, driveway reconfiguration and resurfacing, alterations to the rear deck roof, replacement of various windows and doors, improvements to rear deck and patio areas, and the painting of existing brick veneer. It's tax map parcel 10512150005.
Okay, and we have the representative of the applicant here tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Marjon van Eyk. I'm the architect for Nancy and Mark Harmon at 338 Dupree Place.
Okay. All right, and you've come and met with us in a work session and gone over a lot of this. So I don't know if we have a lot of questions, but do y'all have questions you want to ask?
I'd just like to make a statement, and that is that although it may be a contributing property and you're changing it significantly, I really like the changes, and so, you know, I like what you're doing with the place.
We're very excited about it.
It's interesting because the the current existing rear of the house looks like it belongs to another house from
It
the
does,
front.
yeah.
So it already has two different looks. So he's almost making the front more like the rear.
Exactly, and I think doing the wood posts, the beams and the posts in the back, that match the ones in the front, I think it'll tie the whole thing back together.
Right. It's a very nice location too, but it does need some attention.
Yeah, it does need some work.
Yeah. Okay, do y'all have any questions? I'm not sure we do. You've been very good to bring the drawings in ahead of time at the work session. That was helpful. And we can, I think, see everything we need here. I guess you're still doing that. I'm very interested in your improvements to the retaining wall and the little, is that still part of the scope of work?
Yes, it is, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
in the back.
And the homeowners would like to start that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So, because that definitely is a hazard at this
Yeah.
point. Well, that is, yeah, I think it's on the site plan. It shows the scope of that lower patio.
Probably the next site plan, maybe?
Last slide,
Okay.
I think, like, last one. That one.
There we go.
You can see that
Yeah.
with a little bridge, that kind, because it's a crazy backyard. It's like a cliff. Yeah. And then
Okay.
that second retaining wall too, that needs to be rebuilt, that's completely gone, so I think that would
Okay.
be
Okay.
phase one definitely of this whole project.
Any other questions, folks? No? Good. Thank you. We'll
There it is.
yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank you all
you.
for your time and consideration.
And we'll now ask if we may have some neighbors here that'll come. Yeah, yeah. Would you all like to come and give us your name and make a statement, pro or con? Don't have to, but if you want, you're welcome. I see you have an attorney with you.
Take the fifth. My name's Barbara Morgan. I live at 341 Dupree Place, which is next door to the property, the application. We are all for it. We've met, they've discussed it with us. We know the property, that it's years of neglect previous to the Carmens. Know that this is something that they are committed to doing. It's kind of nice to have that in that little cul-de-sac that we live. And I know the Hayes agree, and pretty much all of us,
Right.
we call it Lower Dupree. Lower Dupree, are looking forward to the positive changes.
Okay, this is in Lower Dupree then?
Yes.
Okay.
We call it past the Girl Scout
It's-
cottages, kind of Lower Dupree.
These are.
Although it's Upper Dupree if you go down Whitney Drive, I guess.
Okay.
No, thank you, Barbara. And you gave your name, right, Barbara? Yeah, I think you did. Barbara Morgan? Good, thank you. And you're a neighbor, and then we have some other neighbors, and it sounds like everybody approves the new look. We have another.
Good evening, all. My name is Bill Goodfarb. I live at 645 Coker Springs Road with my wife Wendy. We live opposite the back of the home of the Carmens, and my wife and I are in full agreement with what they want to do, and we hope that you see fit to approve their request.
Great. Yeah, you've seen the problem side for a long time, I know.
Well, they've seen our problems too, that it took us a while to work on.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you for that statement. Okay, anyone else?
My name is Sue Hayes. I live at 350 Dupree and have for 50 years. And we are in full agreement that these additions will be will upgrade our neighborhood rather than cause any kind of problem. And we are in full agreement with what we have seen in these drawings.
Good. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming tonight and for coming forward with that. And I think we have their names maybe written on the, out on the
Sign-in.
table back there, the sign-in sheet too. Yeah, good, good, okay. It sounds like we've had everyone who wanted to speak come forward. So now we would need a motion, and we can vote on this and have some discussion if need be.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve application H19-032 as submitted.
Second. Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? No? Good. All in favor of the motion as submitted, raise your right hand. All right. Good. Thank you for bringing it in. Okay, everybody's happy, I believe. Now, our next one, Mary Catherine.
Our last item of new business is application number CER H19-033. Applicant Kevin Warren requests approval of window replacement at 233 Marion Street Southeast, tax map parcel 12110-25007.
Okay, thank you. And now, Kevin, is this Kevin Warren? Yes, sir. You can give us your name on the microphone, please.
I'm Kevin Warren. I'm representing, I guess, property at 233 Marion Street Southeast.
Okay, and you actually are a window rep.
Yes, sir.
For Pella.
Yes, sir.
Okay, where is your Pella?
I'm actually a window rep for ABC Supply. We're a Pella distributor.
Okay.
So we're partnering with.
You're from Augusta, North Augusta, maybe?
Augusta.
I see. Okay, that's helpful. But you know about windows, and we've had some discussion in the
Yes, sir.
work session about the distinctive style of these muttons that I don't know if I've seen that anywhere in town.
Like I said, I've been in the window business installing before I got into sales, and I haven't seen that grid pattern in 30 years. I mean,
yeah, I've seen lots of vertical buttons on the top sash, and
I've seen diamonds. I mean, I've seen it all, but not aligned the way those are. And you know, the way it is, the way they charge with that is per light. So you know, if you just have two, like I say, you've got a 3-light window, but then when you put that horizontal across, now you're making that basically a 6-light, and they charge per light. So it makes it a little more expensive, you know, per unit.
And now the bottom sash is just one single, or is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Just clear.
Yeah, I see some in the submittal here that I did want to ask you about. Maybe they were for the vinyls, but did you have an attachment to that? I thought I saw it where you actually showed that extra horizontal on your submittal.
Yes, it should be
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a 10/1.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Mine on the side of the picture I'm looking at looks like an 8/1.
I see it up there now.
Yeah.
I see it's a separate little special architect replacement double hung.
And some of them were a little different. The narrow windows have a couple more grids in them than normal. But you know, like I said, I think that's the historic preservation that we're looking for.
Right. Now, since we've got this I guess invoice for the windows, there's probably more than 2 of that type. And y'all are acknowledging that you can, in fact, duplicate that.
Yes, sir.
Like I'm seeing on page 3 of 9. The only thing I wasn't sure why it just says, here we go. I got 4 of the narrow ones.
And that's when, we were basically thinking he was just going to replace the ones on the front of the home with the clad wood.
Oh, it's the side ones that were missing.
Right, because, and so the rest of them are actually, he was going to go with vinyl on the rest of the home and do the 6 front with the grid pattern. But, after you guys go back and look, from the street view, you can actually see down the sides also. So, he's got a total of 19 windows. If we go by what you can see from the road, counting including the size, it's
about 17.
17, right. So there would only be 2. And if
he was going to have a couple of pillows in the front and then vinyl down the side?
Yeah, he wanted to do the 6 pillows on the front and then do the vinyl with the 2, with the 3 light over clear on the rest down the sides. And I mentioned to Ben, I heard you guys talking in the work session a little bit about allowing them to do the wrapping of that wood trim around the exterior. Me personally, and that's just my take on it. If you're allowing that, that is really taken away from the historical value to me. I would you can replace those windows without disturbing that exterior trim at all. You can take the trim off the interior, pull the sashes out, then you just set your new window in, put the trim back in. It's basically like it was.
Yeah, we weren't quite sure why he shoved it over. He got obsessed with that center mullion and tried to make it wider. Right. So now then he lost his casing.
He lost his casing.
And he could then.
Well, see, I run into that a lot, being in this line of business. We run into a lot of new construction guys, and I'm pretty sure that's what he was, a builder, so they don't really know a lot of the aspects of a remodeling application.
Yeah, we were going to make him either cut the siding back so he could put the casing in, but then he's not going to have his jamb framed properly to nail to, so he's better off trying to get back to the original.
Where it was, yeah. If you can, and to me, if you can, the least amount that you have to do to replace the window, that's going to fall a lot more under you guys' guidelines because the only thing you're basically taking out are those 2 wooden sashes and replacing with clad and wooden sashes.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't have an issue with that if he were to, just do the entire home that way. We probably wouldn't even be here. But the cost difference, is what he was, concerned about because he thought maybe he could just do the front and then, have the savings.
On this one,
yeah, and then have the savings, down the side and the back. But that's
this is a contributing property. We discussed some of that too. That previous the red house, there was a little bit of a loophole there too.
Because it's not
and this is just a distinctive mutton arrangement that's only seems to be.
And even the difference in being, you can test this. Chrissy, the lady that's a couple doors down, she only has 2 verticals, so it's a 3 light over. Well, her clad pellet windows were about $400 less than Woody's were just for that one horizontal along the top. I mean, so in her case, it probably wouldn't be as much a significance in price as Woody's is, but again, that's solely rest on you guys.
Yeah. Now you do both Marvin and Pella.
Yes, sir.
But Pella's more competitive.
Pella has partnered with ABC Supply, so we actually get a little better pricing that we can offer to our homeowners versus Marvin. I mean, Ben, Marvin is the king of windows. I mean, you want Asian bamboo on your windows, you can get Asian bamboo on your windows. They will make it happen as long as you're willing to pay their price.
Don't have a rep around here that I know of. No. My book has a lady in Minnesota that I can contact if I need to talk to her about Marvin windows. Well, do y'all have questions? I think that he's understanding the situation now, and I appreciate you're doing a little homework ahead of time, Kevin, because you see all the situations.
Yeah, and that's what that's when Woody and the contractor that's my customer. They asked me, "What are you gonna go?" I said, "Man, I kind of want to go just to see now. You know, it's a learning experience for me to see, you know, how you guys are going to react.
This house will really look good. When you get finished, it now, the storm sash is
Yeah, the storm windows are
approved
taken away
way to
from
do
it.
it, but those look really,
I mean, the storm
Package.
sashes take away from it, period.
they do,
you know.
they do. And they don't, you could get a better looking storm sash, but
Right.
I can see where he wants an operating window. But we still have to see if these folks, because we've got some strict
Sure.
criteria that they might not even approve a
Pellet
super
clad,
duper
sure,
Pella. Yeah.
Sure.
But you're doing the right thing as far as meeting the criteria in terms of,
Yeah, I mean, for sure, and you know, if there was a more cost-effective way to get that grid pattern for him, I would definitely, you know, travel that avenue. But there's just, you know, the vinyl manufacturers won't do it, and you know, I'm for sure we would get a lot better approval with a wood window, you know, or clad that would, you know, retrofit to fit the openings, you know, and like I was talking to Ben earlier, you know, I would suggest, and I already suggested to the contractor, if you do that, you know, you would leave that exterior wood casing as it is. I mean, you can wrap it
Taking
with the
replacement
vinyl.
sash.
Aluminum. Right.
Replacement sash.
You're-
now that would be a simulated divided light.
Yep.
But it could still have the horizontal?
Correct. And basically that's what we're offering is a replacement. It's a replacement window, but it's basically two sashes. That's the only thing you're going to remove from that hole is those two sashes.
So Pella's making you sash? Pella is?
Yes, sir.
To go in, because it's a
go in,
replacement sash?
To go
Okay,
into that existing
I
opening.
understand. Yeah, I didn't know that.
A lot of guys, and you know, Ben with his background, he may understand. You know, a lot of guys when they replace windows, they will knock off the screen stop or sawzall it off or whatever and pull them out that way. Well, in doing that, now you have that gap where you took that board off. So what they do is they incorporate that with the metal wrapping on that 4-inch casing, and they carry it into the window. So now you got this aluminum that's wrapped around the window. Now, and I heard you in the work session saying that, yeah, I was, to me, over time, it gets dented. If it's a dent, it's there forever. Am I right, Ben? You know, so, and the metal kind of, to me, takes away from the, you know, the architectural properties that the wood offers. To me, you know, that's an opinion. You know, some people may not see it that way. You know, you can put bends in metal and, you know, dress it up and make it look a little better, but to me, it's still metal, and it really looks fake, for lack of a better term.
Did y'all see the condition of the windows through the storm sash thing? So,
They need to be replaced.
yeah. It's just that we just didn't want to lose that mutton arrangement.
No,
That's probably why we approved the storm sash before.
Right, and see, I was talking with the homeowner, you know, and I was all prepared to maybe argue his point a little bit, but there's really not when you're thinking about that architect. Because I mean, have you seen that particular grid pattern on anything before, Ben, other than maybe something that you were just asking Marvin to make for you?
Well, I saw it in their catalog.
In their catalog, not on a home.
Yeah, I hadn't
I
seen it
got
on a
you.
home.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it on a home.
I haven't used
other
it.
than this one.
I considered using it, but I didn't.
Right.
I changed my mind.
Right.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you for coming over, and I wish we could make it easy for him, but he's got a house that's got some interesting features that I think in the long run, the next buyer will appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
So it's liable to add value, in fact.
Right.
To be able to duplicate.
Right.
So if you can get a working window and then get the same look that you have now, that might be.
And again, you know, the only his grievance with that with you know, Mr. Woody was just going to be the cost difference in if he could just do the 6 that would, you know, mimic it and keep it there, and then, you know, do the vinyl on the rest. But you know, again, and you know, it may be something that, you know, hey, Woody, maybe, you know, replace the 6.
Yeah.
You know, finances get a little better down the road, do 6 more, you know, or, you know, but that's, like I said, it's completely
Well, he
up
could
to you
do that. I
guys.
mean, he could just
If you guys approve the
leave
clad,
the
right.
others alone and then do them next year. He could do that.
Right, you know, if it's, you know, if
He
it's,
doesn't want to do all, however many you said.
right, if it's just a cost savings thing, you know, that he's looking at, you know, that might be, you know, another avenue for him to pursue, but.
Correct. I think we likely aren't going to approve just a regular old vinyl window on a contributing property that doesn't respect the grid. So that's another option, though, if he if he wanted to not do them all now. But you say he's wanting to do all his windows?
Yes, he does want to do all of them, but,
Okay.
you know, again, you know, it's going to come back to his finances, I guess.
Right. Okay. Y'all have, we got a lot of information.
So,
Go ahead.
you know, would he entertain doing the wood-clad windows with the 3/1 design down the sides?
Yes. I mean, because that would save him, because he wouldn't have to have that horizontal at the top like a valance, which would save him roughly $400 a window. So that would, you know, that would bring the cost down.
You're saying the side would be just the verticals?
Just the 3
And
lights?
the
The
front.
3/1 verticals,
Yeah.
right, on the sides, but the top would keep the unique design, if we want to use that terminology.
On
On the front.
the front, which means 3 right there and then 3 underneath the porch? Is that right?
Because
What's underneath the porch? I can't quite see. I think I walked up, same thing.
The front.
I
Right,
walked-
so right there on the front, you can see it's got the.
Yeah, it'll be a total of 6 windows.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But then they go down the side. Okay, that's something.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out a compromise here to make it affordable, because the windows need to be replaced. And if he's going with a wood exterior, permanently exterior applied grid, you know, on the sides, I'm just wondering if the board would be amenable to doing that rather than keeping every window the same.
Yeah. Now, there are rooms, this is where it would help to have a floor plan. Another way to do it is to put because when you're inside the living room, you're going to have the horizontal thing on one window, and then over here, you're not going to have it.
Yeah.
So it would probably, if you did something, it'd make more sense to make it be in the living room and in the dining room.
Yeah.
And then the bedroom back there, or kitchen,
Change it.
change it. You see that right there, that corner on the right-hand, on the
Behind the
right-hand
fence.
side, really on both corners, you see probably that window turning the corner is in the same room.
Yes.
So that's a possible
That one,
compromise.
as soon as you turn that corner,
That's
is
a
going to be in
possible
that living room,
compromise.
so.
Yeah, see how it's got.
That you'd say, well,
Yeah,
in the
so-
back bedroom, we may not.
Yeah, so probably those front 7, possibly, and then if he could,
There's another one.
It's actually going to be 8.
I saw the picture over here.
There's one on each corner. You
One-
see,
that one right
there's
there,
one on this
and then there's
corner.
one on the
Is there
front,
one on
which
the
is
other
the
corner?
same.
Well,
You just
see that
can't
this.
see
Oh,
it.
yep.
They didn't
There-
take
I got you.
That's in that same
yeah,
room.
that's in the same room. Yep.
The other one's probably a bathroom
And then
window.
here, on the
that's the
left-hand
kitchen.
side.
That's the little
what I
one?
was saying was
Yeah,
that
the
this
little one.
room would need that window to have the same
to the
grid
kitchen,
pattern.
you got living room, kitchen, I believe that.
How many windows now is it total? 19, so, and that includes, so there's 2 of them that literally we don't even have any say-so. So
Right,
you
there's
can
2.
already, okay, so I guess he's saying there might be a substitute motion that could then say 8 of them, which means you've got the front rooms will have the original,
Right. Maybe the 2 right there on the left side, front side of the house, to keep the more expensive grid.
so that might mean instead of just 2 of the simpler, you might do 11 of the simpler ones. It's still got the, and the 3/1 is fairly, there's a house right around the corner I used to live in, has
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
That's fairly common.
and that's
Common
what
for
the
the
other,
neighborhood.
It's a cottage, is that one right there? I believe it might be. No, that's a 6. That's a 9/9. Yeah. Okay. Well, Ben, you may see if you can get a
Well,
majority on
Is it
that.
absolutely certain you can't rehab the existing windows?
absolutely, positively.
Why?
Well, because of the balance mechanisms on them, they're actually, it's a rope, and, I mean, it's like an anchor. Once those ropes are cut, that anchor that holds, that weights the window up and down, drops down into the wall, and it's, you can't replace those ropes any longer.
You can see the rope is on the picture.
Yeah, because those actually have the old rollers that are in the jam, and then that rope goes down to a weighted, I mean, some guys use them for boat anchors and stuff, but it's just, it actually looks like a boat anchor, kind of, you know, that weights the window down, and once those balances, that rope breaks, it's toast. because there's no way to actually
You have to take
replace
the
that
wall
mechanism.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it, but you can,
You're going to really open up a can of worms trying to get to
Right.
it. And I don't know that you can even
That costs
find
more than
those,
the window.
replacement wheels or ropes any longer for those type of
it's
windows.
probably going to be about what the new window would be.
No,
Did that happen do the ropes break on all of them?
quite a few. Quite a few. I think there was 8 or 9. He said that the ropes were broken and snapped on them.
Well,
And then the condition of the wood is the other issue too on the.
I don't know if there's anybody else that would consider not doing all the windows with the unique design or not. But
Well, you could make the motion.
I can make the motion, but to be honest with you, before we even made the motion, I would suggest that we table it until the homeowner says if he's okay with that. Because I really wouldn't want to pass it with the compromise without having the homeowner say, I'm okay with that, because then we've locked him into some.
No, but you can do it in the alternative. You can approve it and say, however, that if the homeowner wishes to do 11 windows that are wherever they are with the pattern that you're suggesting, he has the option to do that.
Yeah, you could make it approved that all of them are, that all of them 17 that we see have to match as an alternative, that's what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
If they want to do the front rooms, which is 8 windows, that's the way your motion could,
Yeah, then the other,
That cuts them
whatever,
in
the
half.
11 that are left could be
Yeah.
a different, whatever, the
so that
3
that
over
gives you
1 or whatever.
pretty good street, coverage, and also being in the room. I think the windows in the room ought to match.
Right.
Another, okay. So now we're gonna, we'll go ahead, unless there are other questions. We're tying you up a long time, but it's
It's a learning
educational to us
experience for
too.
me, so I mean, I'm
Yeah.
great with it. I'm fine.
You can come over every first Tuesday
once a month.
and sit in if you want.
Bring some snacks and pizza.
Yeah, bring some snack. We're gonna have a lunch and learn. We actually have had a window lunch and learn before. I'm gonna officially ask if anyone else would like to speak regarding the window.
Not this time.
Not right now, okay? Let's either speak now or forever hold your peace. Good, now we can,
I have a question. I just have one question.
okay,
You said in the work session that this is sort of Art Deco style,
yeah.
and what makes those windows match that style, I guess? I mean,
Say that again.
what would it hurt if it was 3/1 windows as far as the style of the house goes? I know they're unique, but as far as
Well, why is it unique? Because
style
it's
of
the
the
only house
house.
in town that I've maybe ever seen. And it has that little, what would you call it? What is that thing, that thing on the 2 columns that almost,
Call it the tea house because it's a tea.
the tea house. Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's what the owner said.
I didn't know that.
It's
But
known as.
that's sort of carrying a theme that I see in the windows. So I don't think there's another house in Aiken that has a window like that. And it's the original window, we know, and it matches that little emblem, as the word I was trying to think of, on the columns. So it would be a shame that we have a vote and it's gone forever.
Right.
And we're really fortunate that they've got a window company that can duplicate that recognizes the way Mr. Warren does, that, hey, this is distinctive, and we got a company that can do it. So that's that's better than somebody coming in like we had a few months ago, where we questioned the need to replace the windows, and it didn't go well.
Yeah, okay.
I think we could, if you want to try that motion, we probably ought to do it, or we'll be here too long tonight.
And as far as the replacing them a little bit at a time, once he gets the approval, he doesn't have to come back, because the approval is good for several years,
The
right?
certificate is good for 2 years unless a substantial amount of work has been complete, in which case I believe the planning director can
Extend it.
extend it up to 6 months.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so he has a little bit of latitude if he somehow decides not, whatever we vote on, he decides not to do it all at one time. You probably prefer him to do it all at once. And as far as the labor, it'll probably reduce his labor per window if he does more windows, obviously. Okay, all right, well, you want to make a motion, your modified motion, and see how it goes?
Do we think if we table this to another month that he'd be here? Or do you have any idea?
I really don't know. I mean, I actually thought he might be here tonight, to be honest.
I don't know we would change our, I mean, I don't think a month we're going to change our opinion.
Right.
Ben.
I think he very much trusted any questions I had, he would defer me to Kevin as the window expert.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of,
All right.
he defers to.
Yeah, and yeah, you're gonna lock him in no matter what, because he's
So it's
got
8 windows
contributing.
around the front, right?
I believe that's right. There's two side single windows, and then there's 6 in the front that are visible, definitely visible to the street, and they're in the front rooms.
And it looks like there's one to the right of, to the left of the fireplace there, Kevin, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
You mean to the,
That's actually a twin unit to the left of the fireplace.
you mean to the left on the inside?
Yeah.
But that's another, is that not another room? I think that's another room.
All right, so
I'm not,
That goes into a bedroom.
how many windows are there across the front of the house, Kevin?
6.
Yeah, just on the front, there's 6.
Including the porch and the,
Yes.
Yeah, because you got the porch and then you got
Yeah.
the other triple that's here. But then once you turn, those 2 on the sides will be in those rooms. So I would suggest that those stay the same also. And then, that gives you the leeway, if you guys want to let him just do, 3 light SDL on the rest.
Okay.
The look.
all right, and so flip back to your previous picture, please. And so right there next to that stucco fireplace on the right, that window right there on the corner is not in the same room as
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The one on the corner
The one on the corner is the
is. You said to the, when you said to the right of the fireplace, are you talking about,
I meant the left of the fireplace,
okay.
from our vantage point.
Yeah, well,
from our
that one is
vantage
in the
point.
same room. That makes the 8th window.
Okay. And then on the other picture on the right, there's 2 windows there. Are we talking about both of those or one of those?
No, I think that little window is probably in a bathroom or something. It really isn't, can't be in the same room, I don't think, and be 2 different sizes. So I believe we're talking about 8.
Well, the door provides kind of a natural break to change the pattern. So originally when you said 8, I thought you were talking about these 2 and the ones across the front. And then I realized that the one near the fireplace actually is in the same room as well.
Yeah, I think we're saying
Just the
we've
8.
got 6 in the front,
And
3.
one on each corner. Okay, I'll make the motion. Mr. Chairman, I like to make the recommendation that we approve application H19033 for the replacement of 17 existing wood windows with a clad wood window where the 8 windows on the front match the existing grid design, and the remainder of the wood-clad windows around the rest of the house have a 3/1 design.
And you said 8 on the front. I believe, did you say 8?
6 and 1 on each corner.
That's right, okay.
But, okay, so what I think you want to say is, in the discretion of the homeowner, the remaining, whatever they are, 11 can either be what is requested in
Or
the
not.
application, or the 3/1, right? That's,
Yeah.
that's what you,
Well, what the application says is it wants a vinyl window.
An option
I'm
for
not,
vinyl.
I'm not in favor of doing vinyl windows around the house,
Okay, okay.
right? Is that right, Kevin?
Right, that was his initial.
Right. So I'm changing
Yeah, they're all clad,
motion.
but the other ones can be, they can match exactly, or they can be 3/1.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But all
Yeah, all clad.
That was the motion I made,
Yeah.
right. But that's
Okay.
not the way the application is
Right,
written.
so it's like, okay,
Yeah.
so he can either have all of them with the little extra piece.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
Or he can have the 11 in the back without the extra piece.
Which is a 3/1. Yeah, okay. I'll amend my motion to that. You can do them all with the original pad design, or just the ones on the front, with the remainder can take the 3/1 light. Thank you very
And
much.
you'll sort that out then now. Okay,
Got
I
it.
think,
I think Mr. Warren understands. Yeah.
so that's a pretty good, really a pretty good compromise, because we do recognize the windows do need replacing, and we have somebody who can actually fabricate or get fabricated windows that are almost identical. At the same time, it's sort of cost prohibitive on a small house to do all of them. So I think that's a pretty good compromise.
And just so I'm clear, the grid pattern for the skinny windows will not be identical. Yes, it will have
It will.
the bar to match, but it will actually have more lights.
The front, all the front
Right.
windows will match with existing. Right.
There, I believe
Right.
there may have been an extra vertical add
Yes.
when we quoted them.
Okay,
So, no, it would be identical to what's there, we'll have the exact
Okay.
same amount.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got pretty good documentation of what's there. So I think that's what we'd like to see, and I believe it'll be a major improvement. It's gonna look better than really what's there now with all that aluminum storm sash on it. And besides the fact that the windows are deteriorated. But I think that's a good compromise, and then I'll go ahead, and we got a motion and we had a second.
Second.
A second? Okay, all in favor of the amended motion, raise your right hand. You're gonna vote for your motion, right? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, we got a path forward, I believe, and thank you for coming over. That was helpful that you were here. Talk to us. All right, we'll adjourn the meeting.
Okay, Lisa,